Our next speaker that I invite you to listen to is Kathy Hannan. It's going to be very interesting because Kathy was told about 3 minutes ago that her PowerPoint doesn't work. So we're going to see what happens there. But Kathy is with us from KPMG LLP. She is the managing partner for diversity and corporate social responsibility. She leads KPMG's community involvement, charitable giving, environmental, pro bono, and volunteerism programs. And she was recently selected by Crain's Business of Chicago as one of the top 40 under 40.
That wasn't recently, but well, listen, I'm absolutely delighted to be here, and I actually had just one slide, so I do have a copy of it. So hopefully during the lunch I can engage some of you in some discussion and kind of take you through that. One thing that wasn't mentioned is that I am an international tax partner by background, and I also am Native American. I'm a member of the Ho-Chunk tribe. So when you talk about environment and community, it's something that really resonates with my heritage, so I'm very passionate about it. I am very delighted to be here. I know that we have a limited amount of time. I also want to extend the greetings from our CEO and chairman, John Viemeyer, who I report to directly, and who also is a graduate of Notre Dame. So he wanted to make sure I said welcome to all of you. I'm also going to try to really acknowledge what Dean Wu's comments were and inspire the individuals in the back. I mean, when I think of our future and the sustainable future, I think about the impact that all of you are going to have. You come to the table far more globally oriented and more socially aware than many of us in my generation. So I really think you have a tremendous opportunity here. A couple things that I want to just start off to acknowledge is, first of all, I'm not coming to you speaking from a product orientation. KPMG, a professional services firm, our product is our service, and our service is our intellectual capital. But having said that, corporate responsibility is just incredibly critical to us. I think, sadly, many times that it takes a crisis to spur reflection and change desire into action. And I think that's kind of where we are today. I think a lot of companies, and I would say KPMG and shared Global Compact's vision of really that shared value notion before Michael Porter's article came out. But listen, I think it's a fabulous piece, and I think it really captures what we've been talking about in KPMG in terms of the collaboration that is absolutely essential from a business and societal perspective. We've had a long relationship with Global Compact. We were a signatory in 2002. We are accepting the challenge of becoming a lead member. And the one thing I have to say is that companies, I think, that lead in this space, to coin a phrase, it's something that really, it makes it, if it's part of their core values, their historic core values, and what role they play within the broader economic markets, I think those are where companies really have been able to step forward, and I do think we're going to see more and more of that. I do compliment the UN Global Compact because I do think it's really making a real difference, and I think the world that we see today is on the precipice of some enormous change and some tremendous action that is going to be made by companies today. So maybe what I'll do, I'll try to be brief because I know I'm standing between you all and lunch, is what I'd like to do is and this is the one slide that I had, so hopefully I can try to convey this. I have an identical twin sister, ironically, who is far more creative. So just kind of bear with me, but kind of picture a large umbrella. And this is how we define corporate responsibility for KPMG. Now, my role is significantly related to the US, but I sit on the global team as well. But we define our role in creating a sustainable future by defining our corporate responsibility as the sustainability of the enterprise. So picture this large umbrella, and then picture these four umbrellas, or these four pillars, if you will, underneath. The first one is ethics, which is about professional and market sustainability. Because I do find in lots of places that I speak, you talk about citizenship, you talk about sustainability. It was very important for us to define, what does this really mean, okay? So picture this large, okay, corporate responsibility. And we took out the social element for it to give it even that much more impact. This is the responsibility of KPMG and what the sustainability of the enterprise. The first is ethics, as I said. It's about professional and market sustainability. The second piece is what we call living green, which is about the environmental sustainability. The third pillar, if you will, is diversity, which is about the sustainability of talent, not just within KPMG, but our role in the broader community, and I'll touch upon that in a few minutes. And the last pillar is really what we refer to as our corporate citizenship, which is about the sustainability of the communities in which we operate in. So if you look at that first, ethics, that's really what we are about. I talked about this, notion that where companies sit in the marketplace and also what their core values are. If I look at two of our 7 core values that really resonate here, one is our commitment to communities, a global core value, a historic core value. The second is acting with integrity. Our position in the marketplace is pretty clear. It's based on trust, ethics, professionalism. So ethics is a key component of what we stand for in our corporate responsibility, agenda. The second, living green, I think is pretty clear. But being a professional services firm, again, we don't have products, we have services, but we've set out very clear goals in terms of reducing our carbon footprint, which we've exceeded. We were at 26% since 2007. And a lot of that is electricity and travel. So think about how we operate. That is a pretty significant contribution. And similar in other areas, in our LEED certification on all new construction and all new offices that we operate in. And we've certainly been recognized for these efforts. But let me touch upon diversity for a second here, because this is something that is absolutely critical when you talk about operating in a global environment. You look at even just in the United States, and I think I heard that Dean Wu talked about this gap last night between the rich and the poor, even within the United States. The Department of Labor has statistics, which many of you are probably familiar with, that by the year 2025, or in north of 40 million folks will be leaving the workforce, only to be replaced by less than half qualified in that area. So when you think about talent sustainability, what are we doing to ensure, what's our role in the education space to really level that playing field? And I'll come back in a few seconds on what specifically we're doing. And then the third is our corporate citizenship piece. And as was pointed out, I oversee all of philanthropy. We have we have 80-something offices, 87 offices in the United States with their own office managing partners. And what we're doing is giving them greater guidance in terms of, how our spend, and it's moving from, I would say, checkbook philanthropy. And checkbook philanthropy is important, but moving to much more of a longer-term strategic investment. So that's what we have been working on. And the component is how do we engage the KPMG family in this? As I said, one of our core values is around commitment to community. So in order to become a partner in our firm, historically, you had to demonstrate your competencies from a technical perspective, from your ability to grow and manage teams, your ability to grow the business, and your professional competencies. We also measure, you cannot go through this process until you've demonstrated your commitment to your community, and we've added diversity in that component too. So really engaging the entire KPMG family, not just the professionals that are working with us, but then also our broader KPMG families. And one example of this in the corporate citizenship space where engagement is really key and touches education is our Family for Literacy initiative, which is all about providing books and spending time with the K through 8 children in disadvantaged communities and reading with them. And the program has been very successful. I'm being conscious of my time here. So how do we kind of link this all together? So if you have this picture, this umbrella with these 4 pillars, the 2 key focus areas and platforms that we have, and a lot of these, clearly resonate with the development goals, and that is about doing business better. So you can see how that ethics, the environmental sustainability, our support in helping from infrastructures in not just in the United States, but obviously a very significant global impact there. And the other is dealing with the workforce readiness notion. Now, we've done a great job in terms of diversity within our firm. And when I speak with at a number of different places, we talk about, it's not about what KPMG's numbers look like. It's about what impact we have for that future generation. And it's not KPMG specifically. It's what are we doing what are we doing to help ensure that this talent is also going to be in a number of companies that we serve or hope to serve. So one of the things we're doing in that regard is, and we hope to really expand this globally as we did our Family for Literacy program, is our strategic partnership with National Academies Foundation, where we are actually developing accounting curriculum and having it deployed in the academy foundations or the national academies around the country that are significantly situated in disadvantaged communities. And how do we then, we engage our professors from the PhD project that we founded. We're engaging our Family for Literacy team, and we're engaging our partners and professionals within the local offices to actually help in those local communities. So there's clearly a lot that we are doing, and we see this only as the very beginning. As I said, this is something that we've been a part of for quite some time. As my colleague from Microsoft talked about, this is a journey, and that's similar how we look at this. And it's essential that we recognize where we can have those critical impacts as we move forward. So I know I'm up to my time limit here, but I really hope that I can engage some of you in some dialogue as we meet over lunch. But I want to leave you with the one quote that I found very compelling in Michael Porter's article, and that is, "Not all profit is equal," an idea that has been lost in the narrow, short-term focus of financial markets and in much management thinking. Profits evolving a social purpose represent a higher form of capitalism, one that will enable society to advance more rapidly while allowing companies to grow even more. The result is a positive cycle of company and community prosperity, which leads to profits that endure, that sustainable future that we're all talking about. So I appreciate your time, and I applaud you all for your attendance at this most critical topic at this conference. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Kathy.